Hello, grade 12, and welcome to our session for today, Sunday, October 4th. And this is economics. Today in class, we covered the concept of opportunity cost, which is in your lesson 2 for chapter 1. Okay, and today I am going to cover the idea of, or the difference between the opportunity cost and a trade-off. And so to start, we need to clarify that we as humans in general, we have to make choices every day. And when you make a choice, it could be basically about your time, okay? When you decide to spend time, for example, studying economics, you are giving up choices of you possibly doing other activities. For example, if you have dedicated 2 hours to studying economics or reading the economics book, in those 2 hours, you could have had done something else. Like for example, you could have spent those 2 hours going to the gym. You could have spent those 2 hours taking a nap, or you could have spent those 2 hours helping your mom do some, house chores or something. Okay, so if we have alternatives and you make a choice, you have to kind of sacrifice one thing to choose something else. Okay, so if you choose study for 2 hours economics, you have given up the 2 hours of napping. You have given up 2 hours of exercising, and you have also given up 2 hours of helping your mother around the house. Okay, so all these choices that you gave up are known as your trade-off. By looking at this table that I'm sharing with you right now, a trade-off is basically all the choices that you have forgone or you have sacrificed in order to make one decision. Okay, now what is an opportunity cost? An opportunity cost is you have to think of your second best choice, your second best choice. So if you choose 2 hours to spend studying economics, your second best choice maybe, or could have probably been taking a 2 hour nap. Okay, this is your second best alternative. Now, your opportunity cost is not the alternative itself, but the value or the benefit that you could have gotten from that alternative. For example, if you would have taken a 2 hour nap, what are some benefits that you could have gotten out of this nap? For example, you could have rested your body, okay? You could have gained more energy that could give you more power to do more activities later on. You could have also rested your mind and psychologically became in a better state of mind, okay? Cleared your thoughts, feeling overall wellness, okay? So this is your opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is what the benefits or the value that you had to give up from your second best alternative, okay? So I hope that made it clear the difference between a trade-off and an opportunity cost. If you guys look at this example, if you guys remember this graph, this is a production possibilities curve. And here I am trying to explain to you that even a producer has to have a opportunity cost. What does an opportunity cost mean? Okay, like we said before, as a producer, you are making a choice. Sometimes you have to make a choice to produce two different goods, okay? In this example, our producer, Alpha, is producing cars and clothing, all right? And we said, as long as we are on this red curve, we are being efficient, okay? If we're inside the curve at point E, we are underutilizing our resources. That means there are still leftover resources that the producer is not using, okay? If we're at point D, this is what we call as unattainable. That means that we do not have enough resources to produce 70 units of cars while producing 400 units of clothes. This is unattainable. As long as we're on point A, B, or C, that means we are efficient, okay? This means that we are producing or maximizing our production by utilizing all our resources. None of them are idolized, okay? The factor of opportunity cost, or how this opportunity cost factor into the PPC or the production possibilities curve, it means if you guys see when we move along the curve, when we move from point A to point B, we see that we're producing more of one good, but we're producing less of another. What do I mean? If you look at point A, we're producing 70 cars and we're producing 300 pieces of clothes. If we move on to point B, the production of cars has dropped from 70 units to 40 units, but what did we gain in return? In return, we're produced more clothing. That means we're producing 400 pieces of clothes, whereas before we're producing 300. Now, Alpha had to give up on something. They had to give up cars, or they had to give up 30 units of cars in order to produce an extra 100 units of clothes. Now, that is an opportunity cost, something that you had to give up in order to get more out of another good. Because remember, your factors of production are limited and you cannot channel them in both directions. You have to kind of like balance out your factors of production. Okay, so this is how the opportunity cost factors into the PPC concept. All right, if you look at this example, if you have $500 and you have 3 alternatives, you pick one, and then the other 2 are your trade-offs. Your opportunity cost is the value of your second best alternative, which is buying the SAT book. What kind of benefits could we get from buying the SAT book? Which is the possibility of basically maybe studying, and that could help you increase your score. Okay, so this is your opportunity cost. Next, we're going to discuss consumer rights. We have 5 consumer rights that protect the consumer. Okay, the 5 consumer rights were introduced by John F. Kennedy in 1962 in a movement called consumerism, when they tried to alert the producer and make them more conscious about the decisions that they make when entering the market, and things to be aware of when making decisions regarding buying. Okay, the 5th consumer right was added by President Nixon when he came into office. Okay, the first right is the right to safety. Okay, this protects you against any good that could possibly harm you, endanger you, or threaten your life in any way or health. The second is the right to be informed. Okay, as a consumer, you are protected against what we call false advertisements. If you see something on TV and you get it ordered and delivered, and you find out that it has nothing to do with the image or the, anything that is similar to what you have witnessed or saw on TV, you have the right to sue the company or return it for money back because you have been falsely informed. It also protects you against fraud, and we see this happening in Egypt here when they sell Nike and Adidas products as high copy. Okay, in America, there's no such thing as high copy. Okay, if a name brand is going to be sold, it better be the real original. Okay, not any fake, because again, this is illegal, and it's basically considered a fraud. Okay, and consumers are protected against this. And number 3, you have the right to choose. And this here basically is like saying that you have the right to enter a market that is not monopolized. And what do I mean by monopolized? I mean when a market is controlled by one producer, okay? If we have one person in the school that's selling burgers, that person could charge us 200 pounds for a burger, and we have no choice but to buy the burger from him because he's the only seller. Same concept. If we only have one store in Port Said that sells one particular good, that person is monopolizing the market. That means that they could take advantage of their situation and charge us a lot of money, and we feel pressured because they're the only person that buys it, that sells it rather. So we're kind of forced to pay whatever they ask. However, if you're entering a competitive market where you have multiple producers or sellers that sell the same good, then you have a choice to make, okay? And this protects you as a consumer because sellers cannot take advantage of you and force you into buying a good for the price that they determine, okay? It gives you freedom of choice. And next one, you have the right to be heard. That means, again, producers are listening and obeying your and satisfying your needs and demands. And finally, you have the right to redress, which means that if any good or product does not suit you or has harmed you in any way, you have the right to go and return it for money back, and the seller is obligated to return your money completely because they have not given you a product that is safe or that has harmed you. The next thing that we're going to discuss, just like consumers have rights, consumers also have responsibilities, okay? And the example that I like to use is to do your homework, okay? Before you do go and purchase a product, you must do your research, okay? Especially for the ladies. The example that I used in class is for the ladies who go buy makeup. If you know that you're allergic to a certain ingredient, you better do the research before you go buy that foundation or before you buy that cream or lotion. Why? Because you are aware of yourself more than the producer, okay? The producer provides you with ingredients written on their product and you can look it up. So do not buy a product and then go and try to sue the seller because they've made you break out. This is not the seller's problem. This is your problem because you did not do your adequate research about the product safety considering your skin, okay? And technology now has provided several ways where this could be done. You could read reviews, okay? You can go online and compare certain gadgets, okay? Like if you're trying to purchase a laptop, you can put two different brands and certain websites will actually give you a complete comparison analysis of the qualities of this laptop versus the qualities of the other laptop. Okay, so just do your homework, make sure that you read a lot about the product, search where you can find it for cheaper, okay? And always hold on to your receipts and any documents that could help you. And also, if there's a problem with something, do not try to fix it, but try to report it immediately. Okay, this is the end of our lesson for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. The homework for today is the